information now, Don. We are identifying the shooter here, the gunman in this shooting. His name is DeWayne Craddock. He's 40 years old. And what we've learned is that he's a certified professional engineer for the city of Virginia Beach in the Public Utilities Department, which is exactly where the shooting took place this afternoon. We've also found other information about him. He's listed on a press release as a point of contact for information on a local roads project. Over the last several years, he was listed as the contact for that service road project. And then we've also learned that there was a 1996 news report indicating that he served in the Army National Guard as a private after attending a local high school there in Virginia. So that is as much as we know at this point. We also know that the police are at his home in Virginia Beach. Standard procedures here, probably waiting for a search warrant so they could search his home. But we now know who this shooter is.
Like this, I always like to go onto the heavy.com website to get those 5 facts about the person. You know, the 5 facts you need to know about a person. Well, one of the things they already mentioned in the audio that you just heard is, yes, he was an engineer for the city. Key word there is was, as in past tense. Now, the reports had went out that he was a disgruntled employee, which means something must have happened involving his job, his employment, which it was. It says recently that he was terminated from his job. Reasons right now are completely unknown why that was. So basically, this guy was hell-bent on revenge for the reason why he was going out to do what he did. One thing I also heard is the type of weapon he used. He used he used a rifle. Now, this guy used to be in the military, so he is military trained. So that would explain why he was so efficient with his shooting. After all, this man killed, well, now the update came that it was 13, including himself. So 12 people have died if you exclude him. Now, he was killed as well because the police did shoot and kill him. So he killed 12 people. Like, one of the people ended up dying. 11 died at the scene. 12 person, not including himself, just recently died, and which leaves about 5 injured. Like, this guy was going on a one-man rampage. Like, he was pissed about losing his job. And who knows what the actual reason was of him actually getting fired. It could have been something he could have been dealing with other employees. But see, at this point, we may never know because he's not allowed to tell his side because he's dead. It kind of reminds me of Christopher Dorner a little bit because, you know, he went and did what he did after seeing some things, and they ended up firing him. And like Christopher Dorner, this guy was also in the military. It's just there was 2 different professions. Now I guess you can lump him into the category of Chris Dorner, Michael Johnson, and Gavin Long. All 4 of these men had a military background. And all of them, it seems to me, had a reason of doing what they decided to do. Now, one thing I do want to show you, and I don't know how true this is, but considering the source that it came from, I would not be surprised if it was propaganda filled. This piece right here that came from the Fox News channel, or as I like to call it, excuse me, the Fox News channel. 12 dead at Virginia Beach Municipal Complex, police say. Shooter DeWayne Craddock left manifesto mentioning black supremacist Talib Kweli as inspiration for shooting. Tell me that doesn't sound extremely propaganda filled. The fact that they put black supremacist before Talib Kweli's name. Now, granted, Talib Kweli has said some things about ADOS that a lot of people do not agree with. A lot of people have. But I would not go out of my way to call this man a black supremacist. And that's what Fox News tweeted out there. This is from the Fox News website. See, this is what you call lamestream media doing lame things, and which is why I call them what I call them. Fox News is the inspiration for me for coming up with that phrase, because of stuff like this. Like, they instantly labeled this man a black supremacist, as I'm reading it as they wrote it, to incite something. I wonder if Talib Kweli has actually responded and said, like, that's not what he is, and why would they put that? But it is Fox News, so I wouldn't expect anything more from them. They would never put that up there if this was a white shooter. If they said they were inspired by so-and-so, they wouldn't call them a white supremacist. And we know they wouldn't. But again, it's Fox News we're talking about here. They really don't really come from a place of tact. And people wonder why a lot of black people don't flock to that network, unless they one of these coons out here who can't wait to throw black people under the bus. And there's a laundry list of them that would do that. But they said he left the manifesto, and he said that in it said that Talib Kweli was inspiration. I would like to actually see the manifesto for myself and scroll down to the part where he mentions him, and to actually see what he said. It's amazing that he got a hold of that manifesto so quickly, considering that DeWayne Craddock just got identified as the shooter just a couple hours ago. Now, it is currently 5:41 a.m. at the time of me recording this video. 7 minutes and 16 seconds have passed, which means I pretty much started recording this around a little below 5:30 a.m. And they just identified him like late last night, almost at 12 a.m. So it's amazing they got a hold of that manifesto so quickly. Unless they released it that fast, I'm not entirely sure. But I can read the other 5 facts, but I pretty much gave you everything. It said he was a disgruntled employee, and some sources say he was fired. Let's see, what else does it say? It said he made multiple recent firearm purchases and once gave Chamber of Commerce workers a tour of the building. He said he was once described as having an engineering experience as a project engineer. It says he entered the Army National Guard after high school, reports say. And he said he was a graduate of Old Dominion University. But I think they're going to focus more so on fact number 1, which is the part about him being a disgruntled employee and him recently being fired. I think that's what they're going to focus more so on, because that's going to be the catalyst of the reason to why he did what he did. I would like to know why he was fired. Now thinking about it, maybe that is in the manifesto explaining why he was fired. Maybe he saw some things and, that's why they got rid of him. Or maybe he told upper management about something that maybe another employee did. Who knows? Well, like, at this point, we will never know unless we actually read his manifesto. And in there, it'll most likely tell us what we want to know. But this is all I have right now as far as the Virginia Beach shooting. This is the shooter. This is how he has been identified. It wasn't who we thought it was. And what's the crazy thing about this is now you're going to have a lot of these palm colored channels who do what they do are going to take this and run with it and try to make us the face of something that they have been the face of for a very, very long time. And because this story blew up, they're going to try their best to keep this out in the forefront for as long as they possibly can, or at least until the next mass shooting happens. And now it's gotten to the point where I have now talked about not only one, but two mass shootings in a row, and where both of the shooters were black. Now it's gotten to the point where we can't just automatically assume that it's a white person that did it. Now y'all see why I say I have to wait until the identity is revealed. Because if I was to go out there and put this video out here before his identity came up and was revealed, then I would have to go and do a retraction and pull that video down and then re-upload a new one. This is all a part of, I guess you can say, investigative journalism. In the real world, if I was employed by someone and I did that, I could probably get fired for putting out false information, unless I work for one of those gossip rags, because they do that all the time. But we ain't doing that over here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.